Good morning traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. Welcome to Trade Zone Asian Session Update. I do want to apologise about last week's video, and there was a bit of a sound quality issue. Hopefully this week that's all been resolved, and apologies again for that. So starting off this week, we are seeing the US dollar slightly higher. The index is trading 0.18% higher. The key risk currency majors, the pound, euro and the AUD are all trading lower at this stage, but they are trading higher to the Japanese yen, and the Kiwi is lower to the USD at minus 0.22%. At the moment, gold is trading lower and silver is trading lower as well, and oil is trading slightly higher early into the new trading week. We just want to touch on the dollar CAD and the dollar yen, and we're just going to move over to them now. So the dollar CAD at this stage is trading 0.6% higher, and we can see this support that attracted our attention over the weekend. It's at 28.62. We saw a failed break lower and a big reversal, so we'll see this week if we can see further buying and a new push higher that will come down to oil and to the USD. And the dollar yen is fighting back this morning after a couple solid days lower. We all know how strong this trend has been for a very decent period of time now. So this is the same story to the other majors as well, to the yen. So we'll see if we can see a new continuation start to pep up. But we'd like to see probably one more push up, push down to form a new higher low, and then a new push higher to get back to testing those highs back at that 138.96 up to 139.43. Indexes so far, futures are ticking slightly higher. The ASX is around 5.2 points higher this morning. We can see futures here starting to turn higher after a pretty somber start to the week at this stage. Even though we did see some falls on Friday's session, we can see this nice leg higher on US indexes. We're going to keep faith in that, and we'll be looking for higher lows, just to maintain this idea that this trend is still up and running. Any deep pushes, any selling that sort of breaks below these levels here is a bit of a worry, but anything down around this area that does form a new higher low and then starts to move higher again, we'll be looking at, if we did see a new continuation higher, resistance to come in at 12.907 on the NDX 100, and it's a bit further up. But if we did see a break of last week's high and prolonged push higher, would be then looking at the area from 32.604 up to 33.309 as resistance for the US 30. Now, just touching on oil and gold. So oil had 2 days lower to finish last week. There is demand down around that 96.86, and there's that key support down at 94.71, but there is resistance at this stage at 103.83. So oil looks like it is struggling to hold above that 100 to 103 point. So we will need to see if buyers can find some momentum once again. There is potentially a higher low here, but we really need to see these support points hold to show that buyers are still in control after last week's weakness. Now, gold and silver are in a similar situation. They still remain in downtrends. There's a failed high here, which could lead to a new push lower if sellers do get some momentum going. We do have these two pretty firm looking bars here, but there's plenty of resistance at 17.35, and the situation on silver is not as good looking as gold. We do have a fair bit of resistance at 18.85, so we feel if there was any real push in the US dollar and selling momentum got underway, silver at this stage looks like it could be will run the deepest, with looking in worse shape than gold at this point in time. So cryptocurrencies had a mixed weekend of trade. We did see a move lower, then a move higher, but at this stage, like with US stocks, we are seeing this nice leg up. We have a higher low here, and it's really just up to now if buyers can get momentum back and break this level of resistance at 23.545 to get the trend back on track. But until then, we would be watching with interest on especially Bitcoin, because As we can see here, it's really more of a consolidation. At this point, we have support here, which has been held at 21,929, but buyers really need to break above that 23,545 point to really get the trend going, as there's been a fair bit of resistance up here from sellers at this stage. So, and we'll just finally touch on Ethereum. It's a similar story. Ethereum has been the stronger out of the two lately. That it's a very nice slope there on that push higher, but there's short-term support at 1508 and resistance remains at 1624. Now, just looking forward this week, we do have some key news coming out. So the two real key pieces locally, it's the Australian CPI, which is due out on Wednesday. It's expected to come in at 1.9%, which is lower than the last data. So we'll see if the market does get that, and if it does come in lower, what does that mean really for the RBA and if for future rate rises. Now the Fed is the big news release coming out this week. Rates are expected to climb up to 2.50%, but focus and earnings is another big one coming out of the US this week. So markets and traders will be keeping a good eye on those two. Now the statement, if rates do go up again, and how is the Fed really feeling about inflation right now? Is there a peak in sight? Are we going to see, is there still real firm recession worries? Will we see any hints of the rate cycle coming to a pause? And all of these things should have an influence not only on the US dollar bond stocks as well, and on some of the current chart patterns that we're seeing. So that's today's update. We thank you very much for your time, for tuning in and watching. Please stay up to date with us during the week for the other parts of Trade Zone's week ahead updates, and for all our normal analysis and updates that come out during the week. So we wish you a very good Monday, a very good trading week, and until next week, good trading and bye for now.